live, and I believe we're going live.
My goodness. What a novel concept.
Now it says red live. I'm telling you, this thing was not saying that shit before, dude. I'm not stupid.
I know you ain't. You good.
Well, yeah, not everybody does. All my podcast listeners know that I am pretty much stupid. So what's your name again, man? Vinny, let's just get the title. We're going live. I want to be sure that we get out the exact what you're doing and what we're talking about, because I want to talk about the Hive and then talk about your new movies coming out after that.
All right, baby. My name is Vinnie Vineyard, also known as Funkmaster V from my wrestling days, which I actually have a match coming up in 10 days, weirdly enough, which is stupid for me at my age. But anyway, co-creator of BigNfunkY Productions. You just saw The Hike, you said, and you enjoyed it, which is on Amazon Prime. And we got a bunch of other movies about the Appalachians. They're called the Smoky Mountain Chronicles. 6 horror comedies about the Mid-South, the legends and the lore of Appalachia.
And that right there was what me and my girl were arguing about last night. She said the Smoky Mountains and the Appalachian Mountains don't connect. And I had to ask Siri. I'm like, no, you're wrong. I'm sorry, but you're wrong.
The Smoky Mountains.
Siri, back me up.
Yeah, Smoky Mountains are a part of the Appalachian Mountains. The Appalachian Mountains go all the way up into New England through New York and Vermont, and they go all the way down to Georgia. And the Smoky Mountains are the ones that are kind of in Tennessee and a little bit of Virginia and North Carolina.
But see, just like Texas, all we are cowboy hats and horses. Y'all are all one state, dude. I don't know the intricacies of y'all stuff. Like, unfortunately,
it's all
one thing to me, man.
It's like saying that Texas is one thing. Texas is quite a bit. I mean, you have Austin, and then you have El Paso, which is looks like it's been bombed by the Germans or something. And then you've got Houston, which is hot as hell, giant city.
I've driven through El Paso like once or twice, and it's like it's literally like you're coming through, like, if you go to Jamaica and that little strip of land from the airport to the hotel, that's what El Paso is. It's that little strip of land where you see the real fucking Jamaica, and they will kill your ass.
Well, El Paso's wild, and one of our guys was just down shooting a movie in Odessa, and he said Odessa was one of the craziest, most. He saw a sign that said, basically, it translated in English, "White people don't cross this line." It was pretty wild down there. It was like a bombed out oil town or something.
And if the white people are smart, they won't cross that fucking line.
Right.
They'll be smart about it. Like, you cross the line, you will get your ass kicked, bro.
Yeah, or worse.
Because I was a chef. I'm retired now, but when I was a chef, so I have my whole life has been like right there with Mexican people and like dealing with the Spanish stuff. But I did want to apologize because I have misquoted the name of your film multiple times as being The Hive instead of The Hike. And that's nothing wrong with y'all. For some reason, I've said it multiple times, The Hive. And my girl's even like, "You mean The Hike?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean The Hike."
Well, there's no bee people. There's no bee people in the movie or anything crazy like that.
I know, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, there's no reason for me to think that it's The Hive at all. I think from the first time y'all sent me the link or something, like, "Hey, you can check this out on Amazon Prime." I told my girl, I was like, "Hey, we got to check out The Hive." And she's like, "That says The Hike." It's like, whatever, let's just watch it, damn it.
The Hive is a better title, though. It's just, so you're on to something there, but it's not completely accurate. Yeah,
I'm an idea guy. I can't flesh shit out, man. That's all I am, is ideas. I got great ideas, but actually putting them into practice, no. But I would love to. How'd you come up with the idea for The Hike? The Hike with a K. My name starts with a K. You think I'd get that shit together, man?
Well, my name starts with a V, so maybe I should switch it.
See, The Hive, and then it could go The Hive, Vinny, like just the V, the Vinny goes down or some shit, or that'd be awesome. Well, it's almost like a Spike Lee joint, a Vinny joint. There you go. There you go.
Irie. Speaking about Jamaica, but the Hike we were doing. We do paranormal television for a couple small television shows, and we had investigation of this Cherokee legend in North Carolina called Spearfinger. And Spearfinger is a rock golem. She is a shapeshifter. She has been killed, thankfully, by the Cherokee people, but she used to kill people with this long obsidian finger. She'd stab people in the liver, eat the liver.
Is that what the thing, the necklace that they're wearing, or the one that the very phallic necklace? By the way, phallic. Like first of all, I saw, I was like, is that a dildo?
Yeah.
But I realized what it was afterwards. But the first time I saw it, I was like, a dildo, guys.
That's in our story. Her spirit has been bound to that mojo, and the mojo was buried.
It's a good story, man.
Thank you. And anyway, the Cherokee people, we went over there to investigate, and we actually we were investigating Spearfinger, which is ridiculous, but it was actually when we got out on the road. We drove out to this road called the Road to Nowhere, which is actually a road to nowhere. There's no gas stations, there's no houses. It's a highway that goes about 10 miles. And then it just stops. There's the tunnel, and you see the tunnel in the beginning where there's tons of penises spray painted all throughout. We kind of make a joke about that. And then it just goes into a trail. And the trail leads to this thing called the Norton Creek Trail, which is the most haunted trail in North Carolina. I don't know how they figure that out. Like if they have the AP or UPI coaches poll, dun, 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 this week, the most haunted trail in North Carolina. I don't know how they figure that out. But they say Spearfinger can be seen there. And we saw a lot of evidence of something that could arguably be said, well, that could be something that Spearfinger was up to. We've heard, Spearfinger is a mimic. She's like a modern day siren. She can appear to you as somebody you want to screw, your wife, your girlfriend. She can appear to you as a child, a grandmother. She in the legend, she likes appearing to people as an old person. And, so we investigated it, and we went over there, and we thought the Cherokee people would be like, "Oh man, that's just a crazy story." I thought it was a boogeyman story. You know, I'm white. Right. I'm white. You know, it was something somebody told people. Hey, you don't want your kids running off the trail. You don't want them to run up to white people on the trail. It was a way to protect children. I just thought the people would laugh at it, and it's actually. Everybody, even the chick at Arby's, the Native American cashier at Arby's on the Cherokee reservation, she was very serious about it. Now I acted weird, like why are you asking us about this, and what's the angle? And at that point, we were doing a TV show about it, and then we were like, when we got all this evidence on the trail, we saw orange lights, and we were told if you see orange lights on the trail, that means Spearfinger is around. That's spirits trying to warn you. And when we walked down the trail, we heard, and we caught that on camera, and we heard voices all over the place, screams, conversations, warnings. What we couldn't understand anything really what was being said, but you could tell the tone. And we kept thinking, and again, we're on the road to nowhere, 2 a.m., middle of nowhere, on a trail, and there's nobody out there. It's nobody's fucking with us because there's nobody there. Yeah. And so we're walking, and then our buddy, the guy in the movie, it's 7 feet tall. He's my tag team partner in wrestling. His name's Big Luke.
Oh, with the guy that you fought at the the fight? Okay, sorry, I didn't not trying to spoil, but that dude was massive, bro.
That guy is huge.
Yeah, he looks like I would not fuck with him at all. And I'm 6'3", dude. Used to be 300 pounds. I'm not fucking with that dude now.
What's funny is everybody thinks I'm 5'1" because I'm always standing next to that guy. I'm almost 6 foot tall myself, and everybody looks up at me and goes, "Wow, you're kind of tall. We thought you were this." And I'm like, "Well, I'm standing next to a dude that's 7 feet tall all the time." So anyway, so we are walking on this trail, and we hear this voice behind us that goes, "Hey guys," and it's Luke's voice, and we all turn around. Luke is in front of us. He's leading the march. And I'm in the very back with the camera. And we're like, oh, my God. So that goes with the Spearfinger and Mimic. And then all of a sudden, about 4 or 5 minutes later, this rock is thrown with great fervitude and hits the tree. Thump. It misses my daughter's head by this much. We capture that on camera. And so Spearfinger can manipulate nature, rocks. She knocks down a lot of trees on people and stuff like that. And that's the legend of her. So anyway, we were like, wow, there's actually some interesting stuff out here that you could make a movie about. And then we combined the story and the legend of Spearfinger. Our girl Candy with the dreadlocks, she's mostly native. And we were like, that would be an interesting story. And then we combined it with a bunch of hiking stories from my brother. My brother had a lot of mishaps hiking, and we so a lot of the stuff like the Polaroids on the trail. First time he ever went hiking, he found
fucking creepy, dude,
naked bound people, and he actually ran into a bunch of crazy rednecks at one of the shelters and was like, "Let's get the H out of here," because at that point he was a BMX dork. He wasn't a nature guy, so.
Right.
And then so I mean, we combined a bunch of those stories, and a lot of it's true. I mean, I'm from Baltimore originally. I don't like hiking. I don't like nature. So the entire me falling down and bitching about hiking the entire time, that came from a real place.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of Ricky from Trailer Park Boys when you did that little fall. Like I just saw him like slipping down into the water over and over again. Like when you fall, I was like, yeah, that's a Ricky moment right there.
Yeah, I don't have hiking shoes, so some of that stuff is in the movie, but a lot of it is real. And then my girlfriend in the movie, Candy, she's she loves that shit, so that goes right along with the dynamic of our friendship, as we were pretending to be together.
Right. And I do love the moment in the movie where y'all are sleeping in the tent and some scary shit happens. You come out with no shirt on, just your boxers. She comes out fully clothed. I was like, did she fall asleep like that? This dude just got like half-ass naked, like thinking that's something. My mind just wonders when that shit happens.
Well,
you come out and you're like, what's going on, guys? And she's fully clothed. I was like, did she get fully dressed before her bandana is perfect? All that shit.
Well, girls, that it alleged that's after right after we dropped acid, and we alluded to the fact that we were going to get down. A girl, I think, in the woods would get dressed just in case something crazy happened to protect their.
I could see that.
Honor.
Yeah, that.
And then a guy would just be like, "Fuck it, I just had sex. I'm going to sleep." So that's kind of what we were going for there.
Right, and like I don't know. Like when you stepped out of that tent, I saw myself stepping out of that tent. Like when you stepped, I was like, yeah, I can see that. I can see myself just stepping out. Like I don't give a fuck. Let's do it. You want to fight? I'm down here in my skivvies. Let's go. But yeah, I mean, dude, that the entire flick, and it was surprising to me because it was very fucking good. And like I said, man, that first scene, that grainy ass footage is like, what did I get myself into? Who am I? Who wants to talk about this artsy fartsy? It looked like a college student, like one of those films you saw like from back in the day, like, oh, this is a college film we did, all silent and everything, nothing going on. But then it just like it, and then when homegirl took her shirt off, and it makes it sound like I'm the most pervy, pedo looking guy ever. Like just, hey, yeah, she took her shirt off. There's tits in the movie now. But when I saw that, I was like, oh, this is a harkens back to like Friday the 13th and like the 80s when, you saw women being naked, but it wasn't like perfect 10 models. And she was a beautiful woman, but she was like the only thing that would have made it better if she was completely tan with just some pale ass nipples, dude. Those triangle nipples, that harkens back to the 80s for me. And then nothing sexier than triangle pale tip titties to me, dude.
Well, that's the whole beginning of the movie was supposed to be an homage to the 80s, and that, so that's, you picked up on that. That's cool. And then it, the tone of the movie changed, and a lot of people are confused by the hike, but it's really the first genre it should be in is a mystery, because it is what is happening, what's going on in the woods. It is a comedy, it is a horror, it is a throwback, but it's
you fit multi what do you call it? You can be described in multiple different things because it's comedy, it's horror, it's mystery. I mean, it's fucking 90s nostalgia too, dude. I mean, when I saw y'all talking wrestling shit and doing the swerving, I mean, I took it back. I mean, I felt like Bruce Pritchard talking about fucking what's his name? Everyone hates in the 90s. If I don't write out exactly what I'm gonna say, I have these moments.
Lex Luger.
No, what the fuck is that? The writer guy.
Vince Russo.
Yes, there you go, you
Yeah.
Vance. Yeah, and that's the name. It's your name too. I get so angry. Like, there's moments in my podcast like, oh, I can't think of the name, and I'm just like, fuck it, y'all can figure it out. Y'all knew who I'm talking about. But when it all just, your whole movie just kind of like, it brought me back and it kept me going. There were points where I was like, okay, we're and then you like swerved a little bit because I think that's your wrestling background. Like, hey, we're gonna show you a little comedy, we're gonna show you a little horror, but then I'm gonna flip it on you. Like, I thought it was gonna end like every 80s movie ends, you know, but you swerved me, motherfucker. You swerved me. And
I love the ending.
Yeah, the ending's fucking brilliant. I don't want to give that away. I want people to come see that movie because it's surprisingly great. Surprisingly great. And
thank you.
Whenever I was a chef, people would say like, "Oh, your food was actually good." Do I look like I would cook bad food? Like, granted, I look like I'm cooking in a bomb shelter, this restaurant. Like, I get that, but do I look like I would make bad food? And like, when I don't want to be like, "Oh, it was actually good." Do I look like I would make bad movies, motherfucker? Do I look like that bitch? No, but I was very impressed by the movie. And real quick, before I forget, I did see your paranormal show through one of the leaks. I watched about 1.5 episodes. I haven't gotten fully into it, but is the story of Spearfinger in that show do I need to watch it further?
3.1 Wrestling with Ghosts. If you watch episode 3.1, that's Spearfinger.
Motherfucker, I'm a half episode from that. And I was watching it. I just dude, I got so many fucking things going on with TikTok and stuff and podcasting is, and I gotta watch other things that I don't want to just to talk about it.
Right.
But dude, and my girl is like, she is very paranormal and all. I'm not a disbeliever, but I've never seen anything to like make me believe. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's something more out there. I'm almost positive I don't know all of it, but I've never. And like, dude, what you were describing, y'all in fucking hill country, I see the that scene in Pineapple Express where they're screaming through the woods and running to the tree. That would have been me. There's no fucking way I'm listening to some guy telling me, watch out. There's no fucking way I'm seeing. I'm like, nah, guys, I'm done. I'm going back to the car. I'll meet y'all later.
Dude, it's wild. Our show is fucking crazy, man. I mean, there is something about the amalgamation of all of our personalities or something that generates a lot of paranormal activity when we get together. And we did the show because it was an opportunity. And then, after the first episode, we were like, okay, there's something going on out here that I don't know if they're ghosts. I don't know if they're demons. I don't know if they're dead people. I don't know if they're time travelers. I don't know if they're interdimensional beings. I don't know if it's residual energy. I don't know if it's creatures we can't perceive because we just don't have the receptors for it. They're passing through the veil. I have no idea what's going on. But there are things out there and that you cannot explain. And I'm not going to sit there and tell people that it's dead people. It could be a combination of multiple of those things. It could be none of those things. I don't know. But there are things out there.
You're good. We're back. I'm sorry. My email came up and I was trying to swipe it off and it clicked me onto that shit.
The ghost got you.
Yeah, I'm talking to you about all the fun ghosts, and I do like your attitude because I don't want to get into religion or everything, but I do know there's something out there. There's a God out there. Everyone believes there's a God. I think we fuck it up when we start getting into the little shit. And I've been way too blessed in my life to think that it just happened for no fucking reason. And I think
go ahead.
It's all way beyond our comprehension and shit. So I like your outlook on all that. Like, I don't know what the fuck this is, but it's strange.
Well, the next movie is this one. Let me see if I can do this. This is that is the poster of The Hike. There's six.
All right, yeah. See, The
My
Hike.
dumbass.
I so thought you were gonna say that is the Hive. No, I'm so joking.
And then there's the next movie, WJHC. And if you look up top there's a red cross. WJHCAM, that's the poster for the next movie that I'm actually working on, and it should be everywhere in about 10 weeks.
And where is everywhere? Is that where you post? Where's that going to?
It's going to be on Amazon. It's going to be, this one's actually going to be, and actually the DVD of The Hike is going to be everywhere too, but we're going to pitch it to 100 different places all around the world. The people that have seen this new movie, WJHC, AM have said, man, we love the hike. The hike was funny. The hike was scary. It was beautiful. Candy was hot as shit. But this new movie is blew it out of the water. And we're like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. So the exciting thing about WJHC-AM is there's a lot to that one too. It was when I first moved down. This is autobiographical as well, based on a lot of true events. When I first moved down to Tennessee and I wanted to get into radio, the only job I could get was at a Southern Gospel radio station. And you're talking about a fish out of water trope. I didn't see all the Pentecostal jive. They're doing Gypsy Rose Lee shit and kick flips. I had no idea what they were doing. They were all screaming like it was, like, I don't know, some sort of African witch.
Speaking in tongues?
Yeah, all that jive.
Scary
So
shit.
I'm from Baltimore, and I'm like, what? And so we took all these stories that I saw. People were like, this is a hilarious script. You're so funny. It's not funny. It is funny because we turned the comedy up to 11 on it, but this is shit that I witnessed. And so it's a movie about that, but it's also, as Amber was saying before we had the problem with the podcast earlier, she was saying that it's a look at Y2K. What if Y2K was the end of the world? What if the Doomsday Preppers were right? In 1999, when the computers switched over, everything went to shit, and it also was the return of Jesus. And so all the assholes that weren't saved or evaporated were left behind to fight the demons of the night. So it's another movie like The Hike where there's comedy, and then there's kind of some horror and some weird stuff, and then right when midnight happens, Y2K, the shit hits the fan, and it's another, like you said, swerve. It goes from a story about redemption and God and hypocrisy and some just really funny shit like Clerks or something like that.
And I meant to say that, dude, your dialogue is reminiscent of Kevin Smith-like. I mean, you got really good dialogue, man. I didn't want to say like, oh, you're a director like how just your dialogue is fucking good, dude. Fucking good. Like the dialogue going back and forth. Do you write are you like the sole writer of these?
No, the Hike, Candy, which is the girl with the dreadlocks, and Luke and I, but most of my dialogue was improv, and Candy was just kind of holding on for the ride. And and the reason we did that is we didn't have a lot of time. It's expensive to shoot a movie, and the reason I was cast, I've dyed my hair. You were talking about my hair. I'm completely gray like you, and you can kind of see it now.
Yeah.
And so like I got to shave that shit out. The reason that my old ass is with a hot chick that looks like Laura Croft with dreadlocks is because I was the funniest guy. I'm way too old for her. So
I don't know if you noticed, but hot chicks like to bat below their, they like to play lower. For some reason, they enjoy a man that it's just like hot chicks that get with hang out with uglier girls as their best friends. We make them look better.
And so in this new movie, not only do I have a girl friend in the movie that's way younger and way hotter than me, I also have two, because one of them breaks up with me, and the girl that breaks up with me is like a world-class Dominican model who, in real life, she wouldn't have touched me with a 10-foot pole. But, I do appreciate her helping out the cause. But, yes, we all write, and this the second movie actually has a script. It actually was everything was scripted, except for a couple of intentionally improv spots. We had a couple of improv actors, and we let them go loose. But I appreciate that, man. The dialogue means a lot to me, and I think that's our strength is we have funny, original dialogue. When you have low budget movies, we can't have drone shots from outer space showing missiles blowing up
and
complexes. You have to fill it with something else, and I think
you and Candy just walking through the woods and it kept me involved. Like a lot of times when dialogue gets going, just like the way Kevin Smith does. I mean, who gives a fuck about two guys sitting at a fucking gas station talking about their stuff all day?
Right.
And but you made me give a crap about two people. And I'm just going to say, I'm not giving Candy any more props because I feel like that girl gets all the props in the world. She is a beautiful woman, smart, funny, great actress. No more props to her. No, I'm not doing it. Not gonna do it.
She sang the lead, the song in the tunnel, opening number.
Did
Her
she
band.
sang that too?
She sang
Man,
in our second movie. She sings the opening title sequence too. That's a badass song as well.
Nice. Do you own music and stuff? Do y'all create your own like? Because I didn't hear any like unoriginal music. I don't remember in the hike.
The hike has a ton of songs in it, but it's all pretty much Southern musicians. Like when we were dropping acid, that's Spaceman Jones and the Mothership. It's like that's the one where anyway, it's a hip hop tune. And then like we have guys, there's a guy named Josh Jordan who is incredible. He wrote the heavy metal piece, the last fight scene, which is over 8 minutes long. He wrote the entire, like he scored that fight scene, which was fucking awesome. And we have
and that fucking long ass fight scene kept me involved too. Yeah, the entire time. And the ending part of it, like it's a fucking great wrestling match from beginning to end. Like I'm sitting there and you see it. I don't want to give anything away, but at the end, I'm like, I know what's coming. I see what, but I'm still like, yeah, get that motherfucker. And just, dude, just the entire wrestling concept of the whole fucking thing. I'm like, dude, I knew exactly where you were getting that from. And in this day and age of movies, like you got to be a little bit of everything. Like you don't see a whole lot of movies that are just comedic. You don't see a whole lot of movies that are just scary. That everything kind of has a little bit of everything mixed in.
Well, thank you for that. It's asset management. I mean, a lot of our people are wrestlers. That's why we can do a lot of one-take stuff. And we have now the second movie. The first movie, we had about 15 actors or 16 actors, but really it was 4 people. This second movie, we have over 100 actors in it. It was crazy. But now we have magicians and drag queens and furries and, just all sorts of incredible comedians and musicians. But so you use your assets, so we all could wrestle, and so that was like, well, we'll have a fight scene that's a wrestling match.
Dude, I think you just came up with the tagline for the new movie. We got what'd you say? Drag queens, comedians. I mean, whatever you just said was like that should be. Yeah, furries. We got drag queens, furries, and wrestlers. I mean, that's the tagline for that movie, man. You sold me right there. I was like, yeah. Even if I never saw the fucking hike, I would have been like, dude, where can I get this right now? Because I want to see how you mix drag queens and furries together, bro.
We're making a series of movies. So the hike was the first one, WGHC, and they're all about legends and lore of the Smoky Mountains. The third one is going to be a straight up horror called Camp Smoky, and it's going to be fucking wild. It's going to be a wild fucking movie. And
are you creating a connected universe for everything real quick? Is everything like kind of connected like that?
Okay. Kind of. There's like, let's see, what can I say? The mojo that the girls find that has the spirit of Spearfinger, Luke is playing a stoner. He wears that in the WJHC. This may be a little highbrow, but it was for us. So do you remember the forest ranger who was drunk in the hike?
Yes, I do. Yes, that's one of my questions for off air. I didn't want to get a spoiler alert on that, but yeah, I had a couple questions about that guy.
Okay, so there was a scene where he thought the skunk was pretty, and then some reason, or he thought it was cute, and then some reason he got mad and he kicked it, and he called it a moron. Well, in the second movie,
I'm so sorry. Just your description, it's bringing me back because I remember me watching it like, what the fuck is this guy going to do with the skunk?
Well, that's the great thing about that too, and this was unintentional. Is everybody thinks he's going to get sprayed, right? Because that's a skunk. The funny thing was the reason it was a skunk. It was the only stuffed animal my daughter had that looked like a real animal. Everything else was like a pink bunny, or had it was like an otter holding a guitar. That skunk was the only thing that looked reasonable as something that you can kick, and it looks like a real animal for a split second.
Right.
So anyway, him not getting sprayed was a swerve that was unintentional. But in the second movie, there's kind of a dumb Southern gospel jock named Sister Christian, and she's doing this commercial over the air, and I'm going to go pee. So I'm going to, and I'm in the bathroom and I'm peeing, and I look up and there's this sign that's a skunk on the wall, and she's screwing up her advertisement, and she's fucking it up on the air. And I just look at the sign, I just go, moron. And so it's an homage to the first thing where he kicked the skunk and called it a moron. I'm looking at it, even though I'm actually talking about somebody else. So there are things that are connected. I mean, the Camp Smoky, the beginning events where there's a tragedy that takes place, happens in 1999. So in our universe, that's kind of when humanity shit the bed. And so in this universe, that's almost well, I guess I could tell you, demons start taking over the world at this, and so the little kid that is at this camp has to run out of the camp, and he's the only one that survives. So the camp is being ripped apart by demons, and it's the same. They're going to kind of look like the same demons from WJHC, which is in the second movie, and
right.
So they're all connected loosely, but the fourth movie, getting back to the other, computer generated movie is what that's going to be called, and a good tagline for that would be drag queens, furries, because it's going to be a fucking hilarious movie. There's no movie in history that's going to look like that movie. So that one's going to be wild.
Then I'm excited. Y'all found a fan. I wasn't expecting finding a fan. But seriously, but I was enthralled the entire time on the hike.
Man, thank you
the
so
entire
much.
Time, man. And I held off watching it again because I wanted to hit y'all with like my first memories. I didn't want to like go back to it and be like, oh, let me dissect it even more. I wanted the first memories of, because I thought it was fucking great, dude. Fucking great.
Thank you so much. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
No, and I'm telling you, you swerved me from the beginning, and that might have been what sold me on the fucking movie. Really fucking good shit, man. Really good. And I like everything y'all doing. I mean, like when Amber, when she reached out to me and like spoke, I mean, she's passionate about y'all's projects, and I mean, whoever you're finding, I mean, it sounds like you find passionate people that want to build. And I mean, it just takes. I mean, it takes just keep pumping shit out. I mean, even if you think nobody's watching your shit or nobody's checking it out, I mean, people are.
Oh yeah, man. The hike has it's been translated in Hindi. There's
nice.
Over 100,000 illegal downloads in India right now. I mean, and we get messages. I love this movie. I thought this movie would be no good. It's unbelievably good. You know, you get stuff and you're like, thanks, Hashit. Or
I'm gonna start a fan group on Facebook and just try to find other people across the world. Like, let's talk about this movie.
Man, I appreciate it. It's a sleeper. It's it's low budget, of course, but it's got heart.
But y'all also picked out the perfect place to do a low budget flick. Y'all are walking through nature, so you didn't. I mean, I take it. At least from what I understand, you didn't have to get too many permits or anything, right? It didn't cost you too much money just to shoot. You just go to way out somewhere and fucking shoot,
dude. Guerrilla. And so people watch this stuff and they're like, this shit's actually pretty good. You guys are funny. And this, so, I mean, what has happened, and it's all a maturation over time. So the second movie, I'd say 60-70% of the movie, 60% of the movie is shot in this radio station. We had to sneak in at night. It's actually a television station, but it's so archaic. It actually looks like the radio station I worked at in the mid 90s. And the movie's black and white, by the way. So it does have a 90s. We're very much vibing on the 90s in this Y2K movie.
And dude, that shit's huge, man. That shit is huge right now, dude. Like our generation, that's what's coming big.
Yeah. So it's like you're saying, we shot in the woods, and you get a lot of credit for that. See, God is the artist, and he did it all for free. And people are like, man, your movie's beautiful. Well, it's because he made God and he made candy, and I don't. Everything else, everything else is we didn't really do anything with that, but thank you. And then
God made candy and the environment. That's what makes the movie works, guys. It's not me.
And then so
God
we had
slept on me, but he created everything else.
Well, he gave you a good personality. How about that? So and then so we got a television station for the second movie. And then so the fourth movie, this guy was like, man, I really dig what you guys are doing. and he saw a sneak preview of the second movie. He says, "This movie's fantastic. I like the hike. The second movie's unbelievable." So, dude, I don't know. You guys are out in Texas, and people out of the region don't really know, but Oak Ridge is where they made the atom bomb.
The Oak Ridge boys. I kind of know that. I know that area kind of, very not well. But I know the area you're talking about. That's where they made the atom bomb.
It was called the Secret City before it had a proper name. It was, nobody knew it existed. World War II, it was where the Manhattan Project was. I guess everybody thought, they swerved them and they thought it was in New York, but it was actually in Tennessee. And they built, Fat Boy and whatever the other one was called. They had the third bomb they didn't drop there for years and years, and they finally took it away. But so what's cool about that is this movie is going to be based on technology. And there's a guy in Oak Ridge, and he's like, "I'm going to get you guys some permits. You're going to be able to shoot in the National Laboratory, which is the most secretive place. And we're actually going to film the Oak Ridge supercomputer," which the computer is the bad guy for the fourth movie. And I'm like, what? But so you're right. It's like you start off and it kind of builds. That's kind of what we were hoping. And so we're excited about that. I mean, that's the dealio, man. You want it to build, and you want it eventually to start becoming profitable, and you can start buying.
Dude, I can't wait for this shit to stop costing me fucking money. I can't wait.
Yeah.
If it could just pay for its fucking self, I don't care about making any more fucking money. If my shit will just pay for itself.
Right.
Because I'm retired, dude. All this is I just like doing shit. I don't want to just sit. I could sit around at home and be retired and smoke weed all fucking day if I wanted to. But I like doing shit. I like it, and
it's all about connection, and telling stories and stuff. And that's what,
right. And even just hooking up with some people like y'all, dude. This was happen chance meeting of me putting something on Facebook, just reaching out for guests, just to add an extra, because my podcast isn't really guest related, but I want to add, like, our conversation is going to go on my Friday show, just kind of like, oh, here's an interview, just to add something different to it.
Right.
And so, you're my third interview. The first one was good, but my son was screaming in the background because it sounded like he was being killed or something. So it's unusable. Like, I told my mom, like, literally for this interview, my mom took my kid. I was like, just go for an hour. Give me an hour to talk to somebody, and then you can come back. Because for some reason, she can't keep the kid silent.
Damn kids. Kids and pets.
I'm excited to see the rest of your stuff, and I'm gonna. The only thing I would say, what was your show, Wrestling with
Wrestling with Ghosts?
Wrestling with Ghosts. Can we change that to Wrestling? Wrestling, WRAS. Like,
it may be too late, but yeah, that's actually a good idea.
I'm not a wrestling fan. I'm a wrestling fan. I like
absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm an old school, and I would love to talk to you someday about because I can't find any wrestling marks down here in Texas. Do you know anything about the territory Texas and what we did over here back in the day, the Sportatorium?
Oh yeah, WCCW and
motherfucker. Did we just become best friends? Shit. I think they just watched us live become best friends.
The Von Erichs and the Freebirds and what's the guy?
I love you. The fucking Bruiser Brody, fucking Stone Cold started here. Undertaker came through.
Chris Adams, Bill Dundee, the Missing Link. Was it Kabuki? Was Kabuki? Was that his name?
I don't think it was. We had a lot of what's his name that likes the fat dude that likes the pain and shit. That he's just in there to
Abdullah the Butcher.
Abdullah the Butcher. Thank you, sir. Yes, we had.
He has a restaurant in Georgia.
I would.
That is. There. You shouldn't. You know what, dude? You tell it's a rich wrestler started a restaurant. It's Abdullah the Butcher's Chinese food and barbecue. Can you imagine the smell of those conflicting cuisines in that place? It'd smell like ass.
Dude, it's like in Texas, in the area I live in, or like you drive down and you'll see a place that says seafood and wings, and that's it. Like, they know their demographic, they know it, and you'll walk inside and it's like a Chinese food restaurant that just sells some fried fish and some chicken wings as well. But they know their demographic, and they know, like, we sell seafood and wings. You want some?
I like in Tennessee, this may happen in Texas too, but there's like Golden Guns. That's popular. That's just on the side. That's all it says on the building. There's inside, we buy gold and you can get a gun. But that's Tennessee to a T.
You gotta love the South. I mean, just we're kind of. I mean, literally, I was eating with my mom and my uncle, and my mom was like, she said something about the blacks, and I let it go. She said the blacks, and I just let it go. My mom's 65 years old. Okay, you fucked up, whatever. Then we're driving in the car, and my uncle's like, if the blacks only understood the Civil War, hey guys, maybe we shouldn't be talking about this shit at all. Number one, we don't refer to anybody as their color anymore. We just don't say the whites or the blacks. Just don't do it. And we especially don't want to speak about the blacks and the Civil War. Because guess what? We don't know shit. We just should not discuss it, guys.
There's a lot of misinformation about the Civil War, and it's fucked up. But you're right in the regard of, you can't say the gays, you can't say the blacks, you can't say, because you got to base everything off of individuality, and especially since black folks have had a taste of freedom and almost being on an equal playing field for so many. They're like anybody else. You'll run into guys who are nerds. You'll run into guys who are thugs. You'll run into guys who don't fit in any category, dorks, jocks. I mean, they're just like everybody else. There's a million different. Some guys are into anime. Some guys are into playing country music, and you're like, wait.
My co-host for my Tuesday podcast is he's like the coolest kid in the comic book store. He's closeted. He brings out the best in me, because like literally, and I came up with the podcast idea because we would talk like every couple months. We're good friends, but we would just talk about all the nerdy shit. And like one day I was like, dude, we should just do this on, like, we should record this shit.
Is he a black kid?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like, so he's gay, you said, and he's in the comic books. And
no, he's not gay. No, he's not gay.
I thought you said he was closeted. Okay. So,
well, yeah, he's a closeted comic book. Like, he's the guy that he doesn't bring up. Like, he enjoys nerdy shit, and like I call him a closeted comic book nerd.
I got you. So he's trying to be cool still. He's still trying to have street cred.
Well, he's not trying to be cool. The motherfucker is just naturally cool for some fucking reason. He just has like this natural persona of like the coolest kid in the comic book shop. He would probably walk in with like his hoodie up, like to where you can't see him walking in. Right. And then like literally when me and him talk, it's like he doesn't talk to anybody else like the way he talks to me. Like, we can talk about Loki season 2 and what's coming up, or like the X-Men 97 on Disney Plus or some shit. Or I even bring up, like, I brought up your movie to him, but like, dude, we got to watch this sometime. I want to get your take on it. And I mean, it's cool the way that he talks to me, because we bring out the best in each other, I think. And it's just two different personalities that kind of like you coincide on the same thing sometimes, And that's kind of what I think you and your group are at. Like, you have similar personalities and similar interests, but every one of y'all brings something new to it. Like, Candy's not a huge wrestling fan, is she?
No, yeah, she was surprised that we were doing that in front of her. She was like, if you remember the scene where I was trying to calm her down and I said, I'll rip his face off and put him in the figure 4 after it was over. She was like, oh my God, I can't believe you could do that. That was awesome. And she was the entire time during the fight scene going, oh my God, this is awesome. I can't believe you guys can do this stuff. So, and so that was kind of cool. But like, she's a musician. I'm a musician. Luke was a musician. We use Travis, who's an axe thrower. He was actually throwing axes right at my head pretty much. But he does that. He's a professional. So it's all about asset management and using a big group of people who believe in the projects and go, hey, this is cool. This is fun. And everybody we shoot music videos for bands and artists and stuff. And we do other things too. We do comedy videos and other types.
I think I saw projects. Some of y'all's little comedy shorts.
Yeah, I watched Tank My Ride is one, and Luke does a My Pillow commercial. It's real funny. That was kind of recent. Ancestry.com. We did a Let's Make It Weird with that one. So yeah, we do, but we all have multiple interests and stuff. So that's what you do is it's asset management. What can we do that's interesting? And I'm blessed to have all these neat friends who are really good. And this next movie, WJHC, there was one part. This is interesting. You may find this interesting. Candy was going to play the second lead, but she got pregnant. And I was like, that's okay. She had Spearfinger baby. Everybody thought she was hot as hell, and she got pregnant immediately after the baby. And I said, that's okay. We'll have you as this part. We'll just have you as pregnant and you chain smoking or something. And she kind of was. She's got a religious family, and she said, I don't know if I don't want to be on this. This movie's kind of sacrilegious, I think. So I'm going to peel off on this one and just write and do some voiceover work. So
right.
we casted another woman who was perfect, and she was a woman who I didn't have any idea that she could act. I sent out the casting call to actually actresses all across the South,
Nice.
and some were too hot, some were too heavy, some were too old, some were too young, some were too cutesy. This woman was perfect. She was,
right.
And so it was interesting to find a diamond in the rough, and a friend of mine who really, she was going through some personal stuff. She needed some love too. She needed a good opportunity. But yeah, it's cool, man. It's cool to have all these knuckleheads around.
But yeah, I think next time somebody asks you like everything y'all do, you should just respond back like you should ask what we don't do. That'd be a shorter conversation, sir. We do it all.
We just shot a scene in Hot Springs, Arkansas, which is about 10 hours away from us. And we were a guy flew up from Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas to play Satan in a role. And so we were at the Marriott at about 3 a.m. Everybody was drinking. So Kirby, who took her shirt off, well, you should see Kirby now. Kirby now is even hotter than she was. So, but anyway, Kirby was there. A bunch of other dudes were there. The pilots were there. And these guys came in who were from Texas. They had big, giant hats on. And their girlfriends. They're like, what do you do? And I said, we're swingers. And they're like, no, seriously. And I was like, it's just easier to tell you that we're swingers.
Right.
And they were like, no, tell me really what you do. How do you guys meet each other? I said, well, me and him, talking to Luke, I met him in pro wrestling. He's my tag team partner. We met Kirby on a paranormal when we were investigated the Saragusa Horsefly Chronicles home in Easton, Pennsylvania for a paranormal show. These guys are actors who flew up to play the devil, and that's his friend. And they were like, what the fuck? You're lying to me. And I said, and then the pilot was like, we're swingers. That's all you need to know. Because it was just all too convoluted and crazy. But yeah.
We're swingers sounded like an easier.
Yeah.
And that probably ends a lot of people are like, ooh, swingers, we'll walk away now.
Well, there was only one girl, too. So she had to she has to hydrate.
Dude, speaking of which, when was the last time you watched the Planet of the Apes movie, the first one?
Gee whiz. I was probably a kid, to be honest with you.
Well, dude, it was it got removed from HBO last month, and I try to watch movie. I go to the about to leave section, and I'm watching the Planet of the Apes movie, and it's Charlton Heston and like 3 other dudes and 1 female, right? And at one point, Charlton Heston says she was supposed to be our Eve if she could just deal with our insatiable appetites. Like, dude, you literally just talked about like raping this girl, and like she's gonna have to take all y'all stuff.
Is that why they took? Is that why they pulled it?
No, they were just taking it off because it was ending its run, but it was still rated G. Like I was sitting there, I was like, what the fuck? Like literally, I contemplated like I want to make a TikTok out of that moment. Like Charlton Heston saying, "Oh, she could just take all our dicks." Like, dude, how is this okay for kids even today?
Gotta perpetrate the species, man.
But okay, so one woman's gonna. So how are we gonna? You said 1 woman for 3 guys, and we're just gonna all do each other and make babies out of like that's gonna be a weird nation that comes out of that, dude.
There's gonna be in real life situation, somebody would fall in love with her, so somebody would kill the other guys. That wouldn't last too long. That's the one reason I'm all about equality. But one reason a lot of the people in the military were like, we don't want women being infantry. Is not that they couldn't do the job, is that these dumbasses. Well, somebody would fall in love with a girl. If you had 5 or 10 guys and 1 girl, at least 1 guy is going to fall in love with her, if not multiple guys. So if she gets captured, everybody's going to be like, oh shit, our base is over here, blah, blah, blah. And that's just one of the arguments. And I'm not saying that is the final nail, and I'm on the side of women shouldn't be in the infantry. I think they should be. But that was an interesting argument, at least on the other side, is that, that is interesting. If you have one girl and 10 guys, somebody's going to fall in love with her. That's why you can't have a girl in a it's why it's so hard to have a girl in a band. Yeah. Somebody is going to fall in love with her, and that's going to be the worst shit because you can't have your girlfriends around when you're playing rock and roll music because there's always, you're looking at this girl and blah, blah. There's always going to be jealousy. And then there's probably, if she's really hot, there's probably going to be 2 or 3 guys in the band that are going to fall in love with her. And you're not gonna fucking make it at that point. So that's just what's wrong with us.
And unfortunately, we are basically stupid. Yes. We'll lay down everything for a woman almost. Like, hot girl likes me, I don't care about you. I'll drop this chick all day. I don't care.
We had a conversation about candy. Is we said nobody's going to touch candy. Now, I'm married. Luke's married. She's married. But still, we know stupid things are going to happen. I said, she's not just a pretty girl. She's not just a decent actress. She is like-minded, and she is a huge, valuable asset to the creative force that is Big and Funky. She's off limits. And then I had a conversation with Luke and Travis. Are like, but what if? I'm like, no.
What if?
None of it. No, because she's valuable. She's not just a girl. She's not just she's one of us. So, and thank God that's been adhered to, and we're still rocking and rolling. There's no animosity or jealousy or anything like that. And the guys were a little jealous that I got to kiss her in the movie, though. But that they'll have to get over that.
Yeah, I mean, it's she looked like she was making a Big Mac at McDonald's when she kissed you. Unfortunately, it was just something she had to do. I'm so joking, man. That's actually the look that strippers get when they're giving me a lap dance. So I was like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that anymore.
She actually kissed me though, man. We weren't supposed to do kiss. She actually went in and kissed. Her husband was right there and was like, "What the fuck?" But I was surprised. Right. I was like, "Oh, okay."
I mean, when it really comes down to it, it's acting, and I mean,
it is acting.
I think it's very funny when people are like, oh, how's a person gonna play? I think there was something about what's his name, the Breaking Bad guy. His fucking, he was playing a paraplegic with Kevin Hart in his movie, and people were giving him shit. You're not a real paraplegic. How many paraplegics are fucking actors, dude? Like, if we could find a real paraplegic that's an actor, we would do it.
People just need to come off. I mean, that's the thing. I kiss girls in these movies. I'm married. It doesn't mean a thing.
Right.
It could. And I guess one day, if I do enough movies, there may be a woman where there is that chemistry shit that happens, but it hasn't happened yet. And I hope it doesn't, and it probably won't.
It will never happen. If your wife is Lisa, it will never fucking happen, sir. Never.
Well, I'm old. I'm so old now that things are. What's great is when you reach a certain age, at some point you're like, if you've been married to somebody for a long time, it's like, what am I going to leave her for? Like, exactly. I've got somebody. She's part of my entire history now. We fought wars together. We fought evil together. We had babies. We've lost babies.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. And so, I mean, it's like, we have good solidarity. What am I going to trade that in for? A hot piece of ass that's 20 years old? That's like, oh, blah, 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 But men are stupid, right?
That's and she needs her 20, so she's leaving you when she's 28. Like, you'll get her for like 5 or 8 years, but once she realizes shit's better, she'll bounce.
Dude, and you are exactly right. And isn't the case that a guy? Oh, you're trying to do your email again.
No, my mom kept calling me. We're good. Don't worry about it.
Isn't it the case where a guy will leave his wife for a hot piece of young ass, and like you said, after a while, that girl's either going to bounce, or he's going to realize this is a vapid chick that I have nothing in common in, and after a while, the sex starts to get shitty like it does with everybody.
It happens.
And he's going to die. When he dies, he's going to have a picture of his first wife in his fucking wallet. That happens all the time. And it's like, it's because that's the one that she was there when you were young. She was there your whole life. she wasn't a ditzy chick. And I'm not saying all the chicks that are young are ditzy, but you know what I'm trying to say. These are all generalizations too. Some people find love and stuff, but yeah, it's we can I don't know. To me now at this point, solidarity and being with somebody for a long time, that's more attractive to me than, because ass is ass. There's John Turturro, right? He's a great actor.
Great actor. Yes, sir.
He his grandmother told him once, and this is something that I had to learn, because I like women, don't get me wrong, but I also like being married. But his grandmother told him, it's not like it's a vending machine. Every time it's the pack of peanuts. It's not like you get Cheetos sometimes. It's not like you get Doritos. It's just a pack of peanuts.
Right.
So what are you chasing it for? And John Turturro's like, I can't believe my grandmother was saying this. But it's true. At the end of the day, ass is just ass. And I guess it's the excitement of something new. But at the end of the day, it's just to be even cruder than John Turturro's wife. A warm hole is a warm hole. So if you're going to fuck up your life over a warm hole, you're a damn idiot, probably. So
exactly. And I mean, it becomes behind every successful man is a successful partner that's making them success. Whether it's a woman, a man, or whatever, it's somebody that cares about you and wants you to be your best.
Absolutely.
And that's what I tell my girl. Like, if you make me a success, I'll make us a success. If you help me, I'll help you. Well, you got to have the person that really cares about what you're doing and has your back no matter what. Because sometimes you need that partner. And it seems like you got somebody that'll back you up in any way.
She's unbelievable.
And I was a terrible husband. Like, I'm divorced. I was a terrible husband, dude. I was a thought. So, I mean, it does not last. And unfortunately, I found really good women while I was married, but you can't get with a woman that you cheated on your wife with, because what are you going to do? Like, there's so much hurt and shit there. She's never going to believe that you're not a thought.
I'm a very big believer in foundations. So if you leave your wife and get with a chick, then what is the legacy of your relationship going to be? Hey, I left a good woman for this slut who's now your mother. And where is she, by the way? Is she's still at the grocery store? She's been gone for 4 hours. So it's lessons, man. Men are stupid. And Charleston Heston's the dumbest. So screw him for saying that.
Well, luckily, I think somebody else wrote that for him. I don't think this was his personal. Luckily, if it was his personal feelings, it might have went way worse. We would have held her at gunpoint. She would have done whatever we wanted. But dude, and I just want to say, dude, I really enjoy your films. I enjoy what y'all are doing. I would love to interview you again and hear about the stuff in the future, man. I want to keep abreast and know what's happening. I'm looking forward to this next film, and I'm gonna try to follow y'all's stuff a little bit more. And I do want to speak to you for 1 second once we get off this live shit, because I got a couple of great. I'm an idea, dude. I got ideas for you, man. I'll just give them away to you.
Yeah, man. Let's do it.
All right, man. Well, we thank y'all all for listening. This will be live on Friday. I'll put it out there for y'all all to hear. And this was Vinny. Fucking great. Everything was great. Everything about the hike. Go see it. It's out of anything else available right now for them to go see?
Just Wrestling with Ghost on a Sci TV and Tree TV, and you can go to our BigNfunkY Productions YouTube page. There's a lot of comedy. There's video game stuff. There's music videos that we've done for people. But there's a lot of stuff. There's new trailers for the new movies. We got a trailer for the third movie coming out this week, but also we've got 3 trailers for if you're interested in WJHC, which a lot of people are, because a lot of people are used to dogma and Christian weirdness and hypocrisy, and some people like movies about God and Y2K and movies about the 90s, and a lot of people are interested in this one. So if you want to go see some of the trailers, which the theatrical trailer just was released a few weeks ago, it's on BigNfunkY Productions, BigNfunkY Productions YouTube page. So check that out.
I love that fucking name too, dude. Like I every time you said it, like, dude, that is a great fucking name for a production company.
I appreciate it. It comes from the tag team, Big Luke and Funkmaster V. He's 7 feet tall, and I can do this. Woo! Of course, you couldn't see
Funkmaster V, yeah. That is, yeah. I'm not. You don't come off as a funk master, Vinny.
Oh, you should have seen me. No, I am. I'm a jive talking. Look, I used to have an afro for years. I just got so old that the curls started to fall out of it. But yeah, I was a funk bass player for 12 years in a hip hop band.
Where can I find your matches at, by the way? I'm sure there's some of your matches somewhere on YouTube, right? Or something?
Big and Funky Productions. If you search Funk Master V on that Big and Funky Productions, you'll see there's probably about 5 or 6 really good matches that are on there.
Well, I'm going to try to do the research and provide links for everyone that listens to the podcast on my YouTube channel and the podcast, just to make sure, because I want this to get out there as much as possible. My 5 people are going to love your shit.
Well, it's worth it, baby.
Yeah, you got 5 more viewers at least. I mean, that's 5 more you had before. Like shit.
Yeah, and leave 5-star reviews on Amazon too.
Yeah, I need to do that. I have not done that yet, and I do have a 5-star review for y'all's asses. I completely a procrastinator at the worst, dude. At the worst.
It's all
man.
good. It's all good. It just every little bit helps, and the more reviews you get, the Amazon will keep you around longer, and they'll bump you up with and their algorithms and stuff.
Right. I hear my son coming back, so let me end this so they don't get a bunch of the yelling and screaming at the end of this. And let me talk to you real quick before we go.
All right, babe.